Your web browser matters more than you think. It's the gateway to everything you do online, shopping, working, or just scrolling through TikTok. You're probably watching this on a browser right now, unless you're on mobile. But here's the thing, most people never stop to ask if they're using the right browser. They just stick with whatever came installed. Surprisingly, browsers can be very different behind the scenes in speed, privacy, features, and how much they eat up your RAM. So in this video, I will break down which browser is the best for you based on what you actually need. We'll go over 10 of the most commonly used browsers, talk about what each one offers, and at the end, I'll give you my take on which one you should be using and rank them all in a tier list. Launched in 2008 by Google, Chrome entered the crowded market, but it stood out with its minimalist design and fast performance. Fast forward to today, and it has become the most used browser by far. The main selling point of Chrome is its pretty good speed, reliability, very user-friendly, has thousands of extensions, and it has nice features like password sync, and it works well with Google services like Drive and Gmail. You might be thinking, wow, this is everything I need, but let me finish. Chrome is nowhere near a perfect browser. It's a very resource-hungry browser. Just open multiple tabs at once and look at your task manager, and you'll see what I mean. Privacy is also a big concern with Chrome. Since Chrome is made by Google, it collects a lot of data to personalize ads. Even in incognito mode, some tracking can still occur. Chrome goes in B tier. Let's talk about Safari, Apple's sleek built-in web browser. First released in 2003, Safari was Apple's answer to Internet Explorer on the Mac. Safari shines on Apple devices. It's optimized for battery life, runs smoothly on macOS, and it integrates tightly with Apple's ecosystem. Also, it feels very smooth to use compared to Chrome. It just has that Apple feel, if you know what I mean. If you have ever switched from Android to Apple, you know what I'm talking about. It's also one of the most privacy-focused browsers, with features like intelligent tracking prevention. Safari blocks third-party trackers by default and limits fingerprinting. Safari is less customizable than browsers like Chrome or Firefox and has fewer extensions. And the biggest downturn, if you're not in the Apple ecosystem, it's simply not an option. Windows support gone years ago. Basically, if you're on an Apple device, it's a solid option. Safari goes in B because it's only available on Apple devices. Firefox is an open source browser known for its privacy and customization. Launched by Mozilla in 2004, Firefox was one of the first alternatives to Internet Explorer and quickly gained popularity for being fast and lightweight. Over the years, it has evolved with a focus on user control and privacy. What makes Firefox great? It's highly customizable with tons of extensions and themes. Plus, it's a champion of privacy, blocking trackers by default, offering features like enhanced tracking protection, and even a built-in VPN option in some versions. Also, as I mentioned, it's open source, which helps keep it secure and transparent. On the downside, Firefox nowadays can sometimes be a bit slower than Chrome or Safari, but overall, it's our first S tier. Alright, let's talk about Microsoft Edge, the browser Microsoft really wants you to use. Edge launched in 2015 as the fresh start after Internet Explorer's long, slow farewell. Rest in peace. Then in 2020, Microsoft gave Edge a makeover by rebuilding it on the same engine as Google Chrome. So now it's fast, compatible, and supports tons of extensions. Even though it seems that everybody hates Edge, it has some cool perks, good speed, possibly okay privacy, and tight integration with Windows 10 and 11. The cons are it's only really usable on Windows, and it's made by Microsoft, which automatically makes it shit. Also, the privacy is questionable. On the surface, it's not bad, but it's Microsoft we are talking about, so you never really know. It really doesn't stand out, and most people consider it annoying, with it literally begging you to use it. Honestly, Edge is B tier. I'm not going to lie, this is the first time I'm hearing about this browser, but it's the 6th most used in the world apparently. Launched back in 2013, Samsung Internet started as a simple browser for Samsung's Android devices. From what I've read, it's kind of fast, reliable, and has features like a built-in ad blocker, dark mode, and apparently a video assistant. No idea what that means. So why is Samsung Internet so popular? Well, it comes pre-installed on millions of Samsung smartphones. That being said, Samsung Internet is mainly for Androids and doesn't have a desktop version, which is a big minus. D tier, as it's only somewhat good on Samsung devices. Brave, the browser that says, hey, what if ads just didn't? Brave launched in 2016, co-founded by Brendan H., the guy who literally invented JavaScript. Its big selling point, privacy first, ads and trackers last. It blocks them by default, no extensions needed, which is even more useful now that YouTube and Google are starting to crack down on ad blockers. Brave is also based on Chromium, so it's fast and it works with most Chrome extensions. Brave also has its own opt-in ad system, where you can view ads and you get paid in BAT, which means basic attention tokens. And with our dopamine receptors being fully cooked, I don't think this is the best idea. Yeah, this browser pays you to look at ads, which is very unusual, but okay. So what are the cons? Brave has crypto features. They can be confusing for casual users, and some websites break when trackers are blocked, so you might have to manually allow stuff now and then, as there with Firefox. Opera's been around since 1995, older than Google itself. Over the years, it's become a feature-packed underdog with a loyal fan base. Modern Opera is fast, based on Chromium, and loaded with built-in tools. We're talking a free VPN, built-in ad blocker, battery saver, and even a sidebar for WhatsApp, Messenger, and Instagram. It's like the browser version of a Swiss Army knife. So why don't more people use it? Well, despite its power, Opera isn't as popular, which means some extensions and web apps might not be as well supported. Plus, its built-in VPN isn't a real VPN, more like a proxy, so don't expect full privacy. Also, while Opera is owned by a Norwegian company originally, it's now under a Chinese consortium, which has raised some concern for privacy-minded users. B-tier. Not bad, but not good. Opera GX, the gamer-focused, Redditor cousin of the Opera browser. Built by the same team behind the original Opera, it has a lot of customization, which is one of its main selling points, with you even being able to add sound effects. What really sets it apart is the GX control panel, which lets you limit CPU, RAM, and network usage, so your browser doesn't steal all your performance while you're gaming or streaming. It also includes built-in ad blocking, a VPN, and even a forced dark mode. But here's where things get a little tricky. Opera GX also has had some allegations of it being Chinese spyware. Now, from what I understand, nothing has been proven, but use it at your own caution. I'm going to put it in C tier because I don't really like it, but you could definitely move it up a bit. DuckDuckGo launched in 2008 as a privacy-first search engine, and now it also offers a mobile browser and a desktop app that blocks trackers, cookies, and creepy ads. No targeted ads, no search history stored, but it's not all that squeaky clean. In 2022, DuckDuckGo faced backlash after it was discovered that their browser allowed Microsoft trackers in some cases due to a deal tied to Bing ad results. They've since updated their policy, but it shook some users' trust. Of course, it had to be Microsoft A tier. Zen isn't trying to be the flashiest or fastest. Instead, it focuses on simplicity, elegance, and distraction-free browsing. The interface is clean, the animations are smooth, and everything feels intentional. No clutter, no chaos, just a space to surf the web. This is truly the minimalist browser. It's like that Apple feel I was talking about before. Now it's not the most popular browser, but now you can at least flex on other people about how different you are. But keep in mind, it's not built for power users. Zen is for people who want the web to chill out a little. I might be a little biased, but A tier. And here's our finished tier list. Browsers can be a pretty subjective thing, so comment what you would change here. So, what's the best browser for you? Well, if you're just an average user, browsing for school, work, or YouTube, Chrome or Firefox will do just fine. And if you're on Mac, Safari is a solid option. And if you're over the age of 45, Edge just might be the browser for you. If you're a privacy freak, I'd recommend Brave. No browser is perfectly private, but Brave does a great job blocking trackers and ads right out of the box. And for the minimalists and aesthetic lovers, myself included, Zen browser is a vibe. But in the end, I recommend doing your own research. Your perfect browser depends on what you value: speed, privacy, design, or features. Anyways, that's all, and hopefully see you soon.